Temperance is the greatest good. In a world that roars with insatiable hunger, demanding more attention to captivate your gaze, more power to dominate your spirit, more pleasure to seduce your senses, more success to measure your worth, the ancient Greeks offered a counter-whisper of profound wisdom. Less is not frailty. Less is the foundation of true fortitude. Temperance, they proclaimed, isn't the denial of desire. It's the triumphant mastery over it, the sacred key that unlocks a life of unyielding strength and serene harmony. Sophrosine, the luminous Greek ideal of temperance, was far more than mere moderation. It was the bedrock of unbreakable character, the divine equilibrium that empowered warriors to stand firm in battle, philosophers to pierce the veil of illusion, and leaders to guide with enlightened grace. It embodied balance in its purest form, the art of restraint that tempers excess, the wisdom to govern impulses, even as the world entices you to unleash them unchecked. In this sacred practice lies the secret to rising above chaos, a life where you command your inner world, inspiring others to discover their own reservoirs of resilience and radiance. Gaze upon our modern landscape, a whirlwind of extremes, polarized opinions that fracture unity, rampant consumption that devours resources and souls alike, unbridled ambition that scorches paths without regard for the journey. What harvest do we reap from this frenzy? Burnout that extinguishes passions, breakdowns that shatter dreams, bondage to fleeting cravings that leave us hollow and yearning for more. We become slaves to our unchecked urges, impulses that dictate our days, fears that paralyze our potential, distractions that dilute our destiny. But behold the ultra-inspirational power of temperance. It is not the mark of the mundane or the meek. It is the hallmark of the unbreakable, the unshakable, the utterly empowered. Temperance is the quiet revolution of the soul, the voice that declares enough with sovereign certainty. Enough isn't settling for scraps. It's embracing clarity amid clutter, peace amid pandemonium, knowing precisely when to accelerate with fervor and when to pause with purpose. It's the discernment to speak with impact or listen with intent, to act with conviction or wait with wisdom. In temperance, you cultivate the art of self-sovereignty, growing without the peril of self-destruction. It shields you from the pitfalls of overindulgence, guiding you to nurture your gifts sustainably. The warrior who wields temperance doesn't lash out in rage. They channel their energy with precision, becoming legends whose battles inspire generations. The artist, tempered by balance, doesn't chase every fleeting muse. They hone their vision with patience, crafting timeless works that stir souls across centuries. The leader infused with sophrosine doesn't rule through tyranny. They inspire loyalty through measured justice, building empires of enduring unity. Temperance liberates you from the chains of compulsion, freeing you from the tyranny of emotions that ebb and flow like tides, appetites that demand endless feeding, distractions that derail your divine path. It empowers you to declare no with unapologetic grace when the world clamors for yes, and to affirm yes with bold conviction when fear urges retreat. In this freedom, you discover joy not in excess, but in essence, power not in possession, but in presence, resilience not in rigidity, but in rhythmic flow. You crave inner peace. Master temperance and let it quiet the storms within, inspiring a serenity that radiates outward like a calming aura. You seek unassailable power. Harness temperance and wield it as your shield, turning potential pitfalls into platforms of progress. You yearn for joy, purpose, resilience, and clarity. Temperance is the sacred vessel that holds them all, nurturing your spirit to bloom in full splendor. So how do you embody this ancient art in your heroic journey? Begin by awakening to awareness. Slow your pace in the rush of daily demands. Breathe deeply amid the clamor. Reflect on your choices with intentional grace. Discern the space between stimulus and response, the pause where true power resides. Learn to temper your desires, not by suppression, but by understanding their rightful place. Indulge mindfully, pursue passionately, but always with the wisdom of equilibrium. Cultivate habits of harmony. In your pursuits, balance ambition with rest, ensuring your drive doesn't devour your well-being. In relationships, temper passion with patience, fostering connections that endure rather than explode. In challenges, balance boldness with prudence, advancing with the steady stride of a marathoner rather than the sprint of the fleeting. Remember, temperance is not the cage of limitation. It's the wings of liberation. It frees you from the exhaustion of extremes, empowering you to thrive sustainably. Without it, virtues warp into vices. Courage unchecked becomes recklessness that invites ruin. Ambition untempered spirals into destruction that consumes all. Love without limits devolves into obsession that suffocates. Power unrestrained morphs into tyranny that terrorizes. But with temperance as your guiding star, your courage becomes noble heroism that inspires valor in others. Your ambition, sustainable success that builds lasting empires. Your love, enduring devotion that nurtures souls. Your power, just leadership that uplifts humanity. This is the ancient pathway, not the clamor of conquest, not the frenzy of excess, but the serene stride of self-mastery that leads to wisdom's summit, strength's pinnacle, and fulfillment's embrace. In a society addicted to more, be the enlightened soul who revels in enough, rooted in balance, grounded in grace, present in power. The next time the world's whirlwind demands excess, more velocity, more volume, more chaos, choose temperance. Opt for depth over dazzle, peace over pandemonium, clarity over clutter. Become the rare beacon who doesn't need to dominate to dazzle, who doesn't chase highs to feel alive, who finds profound joy in the equilibrium of enough. For temperance is not the road of restriction, it's the highway to your highest self, a life of unshakable strength, profound peace, and eternal fulfillment. Embrace it now, and let your balanced brilliance become the inspiration that awakens the world to its own potential for harmonious greatness. Your journey to mastery begins. Temper your spirit and soar into the extraordinary.
If you felt inspired by our journey through the Hellenic horizons, give a thumbs up, subscribe, and share your thoughts below.